Hey, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to Life Mastery Decoded, where I help you decode the struggles in your life in the areas of health, wealth, relationships, and spirituality with mind mastery, emotional management, and meditation. Welcome to today's podcast. Hey, ladies, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to today's episode where I am hoping to find you listening, paying attention to, and following the messages from the universe. If you are not doing these things, then it is my intention that in today's episode, I give you one nugget of inspiration towards your transformation. Because that's what we're doing here. That's my goal, is to help you to transform areas of your life that you are wanting to feel inspired when you experience it. There's so many areas in your life, right? And then all of those areas have sub areas, and then all of those areas have sub areas. And you think of your home life with your kids and you think, well, that's my relationships. This is my home environment. There's a couple different areas there. Then the next is time management or planning or teaching, especially when you're living with kids. And then from there, it is, what am I willing to do? So let's talk about this. I am working with a woman right now that is being sent the message very clearly about a new path that is opening up. So we had a discussion yesterday afternoon about it. And what is happening is she's in this work environment that is not conducive to her joy. It's not bringing her joy anymore. And she's wanting things to change. But what I'm seeing her do is trying to change the outside, trying to change the world on the outside. We spend a lot of time doing that. I've talked about that numerous times in this podcast. Is we spend so much time trying to get the outside world to conform to our beliefs so we feel better, thus changing nothing but adding frustration. We spend so much time trying to get people to adjust their behavior so we feel better. It becomes frustrating because they're just not going to do that. Or they'll do it for a little while, but then they have their own path. So they do it for a little while, you feel good for a little while, and then all of a sudden you're having the same conversation again, right? Well, that is not how joy is created, by getting the external world to conform to you. Joy is created by you following the messages that you're receiving. Sometimes you have to pay attention. I'll give you a couple of steps throughout the episode today of how to pay attention and how to listen in when the messages are there. But anyway, so back to the story. So I was talking with her yesterday, and she is feeling completely devalued at work. The bosses are not showing appreciation. She's been there for a handful of years, and she's gotten minimal raises and minimal bonuses and minimal thank yous and just not a lot of conversation, not a lot of support. And so she's feeling devalued. And she is very, very, very talented in crafts. And so she has brought this skill and this talent to the business. And if you don't know what business it is, I actually clean cabins just down the road from where I live, because being an entrepreneur allows me a lot of freedom, but I spend a lot of time at home. And I have, over the years, become quite the workaholic. And I spend a lot of hours at my computer trying to reach my audience and trying to, how do I clarify my goals and dreams and my purpose on this planet? And a lot of it has to do with online work. And I notice my body is shifting and changing and becoming a little bit more pain because of all this computer sitting. So I'm like, I need a flexible job that is physical. And take this how I mean it. I love physical labor, and then I hate physical labor because it's so physical. But I love this job. There's 13 cabins, and it's just fun to do it, and it's cleaning, and I love cleaning, and the money's okay, but I do like the environment. You clean the cabin, and then you're outside, and you're in the woods, and it smells good, and it's beautiful, and it's a lot of walking, and it's a lot of moving, and it just feels good to be there. So anyway, but that's what I'm doing. This lady has been there for, 6 years, I think, and she has brought quite a talent to this space, and quite a service, I will say. So in the cabins, and they're just these log cabins that are very beautiful and very, they have a lot of character on the inside. You know, we make beds, we have sheets and blankets and pillows, and there's cookware, and there's little kitchenettes, and there's really nice bathrooms, and we change out the rugs, and we put in towels and, you know, linens and extra stuff, and there's a futon, and there's, you know, there's a refrigerator and a stove. So anyway, they're like little tiny efficiency apartments, but they have a lot of character because they're log cabins. So people come and stay there, and we do little extra things. So there's decorations based on the season. And what this woman does is she brings in, like, she makes food items, normally sweets, cookies, cakes, stuff like that, where she will put those in the cabin for the guests that are coming in. And she does flower arrangements. So that was one thing that she brought to this environment, and people love it. They love it. She's, you know, like parents brought in their son who was turning 7 over a weekend, and so she made this little tiny cake, and it had his name on it, and she had some flowers, and she had like a little bag of goodies, and it was so well appreciated from the guests that showed up. Like, it was just a step above and beyond of what you would normally get if you went and rented out a cabin and you told the people you were there for your anniversary. They don't care. As long as you pay and you stay and you have a good time. They don't even care if you have a good time, that you leave the place and you don't burn the place down. They don't care. You're not going to walk in typically and see little desserts or little flowers, and even a little handwritten card that says, "Happy birthday, Joshua. I hope you enjoy your weekend. Here's a bag of goodies for you." And it's just amazing. So she has gone above and beyond. And then we have a gift shop that's right in the office. And it was pretty, I will say it was not as flourishing of a gift shop, right? And so when I came in, I had this idea about the gift shop, and kind of worked with this woman to level her up. Like, let's see what else you can put together, because she had handmade some things that went in the gift shop, some stuff that you would use in the shower, or the, you know, bath salts, candles. She did these, what else did she do? Mostly it's stuff that you're mixing together, like different, bath balms, bath bombs, and then some food items. So what I thought is, let's see what other crafty items she can put together, and then I'll do the store. So I had a lot of experience with retail, so I know, like, when you walk in, what do you want them to look at, displays, and working with shelving and merchandising stuff in the store. And the gift shop looks absolutely beautiful. It just looks gorgeous. And she put all these gift baskets together. So she went out and she bought these baskets, and then bought all these different items that you would put in there. And we kind of, how do you say that? We like categorize them. Like, this is for a man. So we put like smoked meat in there and cheese. And then we put this, you know, this bar of soap that's, you know, kind of man, like this pine scented bar of soap. And I forget what else is in there now, but a mug, you know, and some coffee. And made it manly, right? And then we had these feminine ones and whatever. Anyway, so we had a lot of fun doing that. But the thing that she is missing is the personal value that came from this big project that she did. She didn't get this big conversation where they walked in and the bosses walked in and be like, "Oh, wow, this is amazing, and you did such a beautiful job, and it's so great." But she's expecting these outward compliments. Don't get me wrong. They're nice. We love them. We're human. We thrive on them. Okay. She's not getting them. So she's feeling devalued. She doesn't feel like what the work she is doing and all of the work that she did to create this beautiful space that brought her joy. In the process, it brought her joy, but she didn't get kind of the end result, like the wow factor. So we were talking yesterday, and she's kind of hinting a little bit that she's like, you know, I don't know how much longer I can do this. And so what we were talking about is joy comes from the inside, not the outside. But we look for it on the outside instead of creating it on the inside. And she is waiting, and she's looking for the value and the compliments to come from outside of her. And they're just not going to. You can't make something, but this is her trying to conform and push and force the external world to conform to her feelings. And because it's not happening, she's getting more and more frustrated as the weeks and the months go on. And I told her, what would bring you joy? And she's like, putting these crafts together and serving people in this way brings me joy. When I talk to people on the phone and they're coming to a cabin and they tell me about their anniversary, or it's a birthday party, or it's a wedding party, she like goes berserk. This is her. I step in and I just show up and I create these baskets, or I put these flowers together, or I make this cake or this dessert to give to them, to show them the appreciation, and to just give them a little bit of wow, right? To just do something above and beyond. And she does an absolutely beautiful job, in my opinion. So when we are trying to get the external world to shift and change, to meet our standards, to meet our beliefs, and to help our emotions, the only emotion you get out of that is frustration. So if that's the emotion you're looking for, then yes, keep pushing the external world around, and you will certainly satisfy the emotional need of frustration. So what I asked her to do is this. These are the steps that I would say would help to create joy in this way and start to shift things around. Because what is happening is, I think it is extremely obvious, to me anyway, not to her, and it might not even be to you, but it is extremely obvious that she is getting a message of a couple of different things. One, the message is clear that pushing the world around creates frustration. The other message is, maybe you are being so devalued here because this is not your path. Like, your path now has come to a T in the road, a crossroads, and you need to choose, do I continue going down this path and I stay here and not feel valued and don't have joy? Or do I possibly choose a new path based on the passion that I have created or uncovered being at this new place? Because what I told her, the message I was getting when I was talking with her is, as you were here in this work environment for 5 or 6 years, you have uncovered a skill, a talent, a passion that you have. And then you got to practice this skill, talent, and passion in a safe work environment. I'm going to make these cakes and see how it goes. I'm going to put these baskets together. I'm going to make these bath salts. I'm going to make these candles, right? And so she was able to experiment and get some feedback from some customers based on the small things that she was doing. And now she is realizing how much she loves doing these things. So I said, okay, so now here's the steps. The first thing is, if there's an area in your life that you are getting a consistent message, first look at and pay attention. That's the first one. Pay attention. You have to pay attention to your life around you. Where am I frustrated? What area am I in my life am I the most frustrated right now, that I talk about, that I spend time worrying about, that keeps me up at night? What am I talking about? What is that? And then pay attention to how you interact with that area of your life. Do you complain about it? Do you wish others would change? Do you try to coerce or manipulate that external world into doing something different? And if the answer is yes, then what's happening, and the message is, the universe is expanding within you, and you're not going. And that is the feeling of, you want the change, so you can feel the expansion. You can see things that could be better. So you're feeling the expansion, but you're not going. You are not willing to change. You're wanting the world to change. And the world is asking more of you. So when the universe is asking more of you. And if you're not going, then that's when you're feeling the resistance. So again, I use a lot of analogies to help explain my points, and plus it gives you a really good visual of what it means when you're pushing against. And I use the analogy of a river, a highly flowing river. And you are standing on the bank of that river, and it is flowing from the left to the right in front of you. And it is flowing pretty fast. And you've got a kayak, a canoe, a tube, something in your hand. And it's flowing heavy left to right. So when you get in the river, which direction is the easiest to get in and go? The left or the right? The right. The river is flowing left to right, so it is whooshing to the right. When you get in and you walk to the middle of the river, you can feel the resistance of the water. And if you were to turn your body to the left and start walking, it would be really hard. You would have to work really hard to walk upstream, up the river. If you just sit in your kayak or your tube, which way are you going to go? It's going to go to the right because it's in the flow. This is what we're trying to create. These are the things that we're trying to create in our life, is the flow of things. I just want to come home and I just know what dinner we're making. I want all the kids to just like the dinner. I want the cleanup to just be easy. I want the help to be easy. And I want to just relax into the evening. I want to have nice conversations. And I just want it to, at the end of the night, I want to look and go, wow, that was really nice. What a great evening. But when we get in and we go to the left, that was a really terrible night. I hope we never do that again. Maybe we should sell the kids on eBay. Okay? So that is when you're resisting. So when I look at this woman at the cabins and I'm hearing all of her resistance, she's like, they need to, she needs to, they have to, they're not doing whatever. That's all the external. She's complaining about all the external that's not happening according to her standards. And what I'm saying is the universe is asking her to expand. And she's not going. So this is her resistance. So as she doesn't go, it creates this resistance in the body, in the energy. Because remember, everything is energy. And these emotions, energy and motion, these emotions get stuck in places. She can hardly even come to work without feeling bad. She becomes triggered as soon as she walks into the gift shop and she sees all of her beautiful items displayed there. She gets triggered when the bosses come to the office or they call. So in that triggering that isn't being cleared and nothing's being done about it, she now feels the resistance physically, this emotional resistance. And if it stays longer, she will start to have physical symptoms of this stuck energy. Headaches, stomach aches, back hurts, neck pain, whatever. And if it stays longer, then it just, the pain and the physical ailments become harder, deeper, more serious. Okay? So the first thing we have to do is we have to pay attention to those areas in our lives that are not working. Then we need to pay attention to how we are interacting with those areas in our life. Then think about the path. Think about the path that is being laid in front of you. I can continue to go down this path and I can continue to fight with the external, or I could think about the path that is being put in front of me and I can choose to go a different way. Okay, meaning, so I'm telling her, okay, you can continue to go in this way and push against and be frustrated. Or you can think, what else can I do? Like, what is in front of me? I really uncovered my passion for crafts and I'm really good at it. So maybe this was like the learning space and now I'm supposed to go out on my own and do these crafts. Or I'm supposed to get my own storefront, or maybe I'm supposed to just work somewhere else, but focus on my crafts. Because here, the emotional response is like a 0 in the work environment where she's at right now. I have no joy here. But over here, when I think about my crafts, or I want to go home and I want to create some things, then I get really excited. We want to head towards the joy. So if I go down this path at work and I stay here, is that going to bring me joy? Immediately she's a no. Okay, what if I go down this path and I start to really work on my crafts, whether I sell them online or I put them in other stores locally in my town, or I open my own storefront, or I do craft shows or something, would that bring me joy? She's immediately a yes. So now we're talking, it's a 0 in that way and it's a 10 in this way. Well, then the message seems very obvious. But now, what I'm not suggesting is now you just quit because you figure out what you got, you quit your job, and you run off and you try to start your business. That's not what I'm saying. But the next step would be to explore this new path in your mind. Before you spend money, before you do anything, before you invest any time, spend some time pondering and contemplating this new path. So if I did crafts, what would I like to do? Let's pretend. Let's use our imagination. Do I want to have my own store? Ooh, that could be kind of fun, but I think it might be stressful to have the overhead. Okay, do I want to maybe make some crafts and sell them on consignment or just sell them to local stores? Well, that could be kind of fun. I might do that. I'll consider that. I'll write that down. Do I want to do craft shows? Ooh, that could be fun. I do like to travel, but that could be a lot of work setting up the booth. All right, well, maybe I'll consider that one, but maybe I won't do one every single weekend. You know, I'll do maybe one a month, and I'll get my daughter to help me. And that will lessen some of the physical labor of, unpacking the bins and setting up the booth. So, but what we're doing is allowing yourself to just expand without physically expanding. Expand in your mind first. Maybe I will get on the computer and I will Google craft shows. How far away are they? Maybe I will Google sell your crafts online. How hard would that be? Right? And just expanding it. So now you're looking at the path. You've decided this path brings me zero joy, and I'm starting to feel the physical symptoms of there not being joy in this area. And there are lots of joy. There feels like there's a lot of joy if I choose this path. Now just explore that path in the energy realm. So in your thoughts and in your imagination and a little bit of Google or something. Explore it a little bit and just see how it feels. Basically, this is we call it trying it on. So we make a decision in our business, and now we're going to try it on. We do that with the names of our businesses or our Facebook groups. We do that with our, if we're going to do booths, we do that with courses and classes that we teach. And we just try it on and just see how it fits and see how it feels. The next now would be to take tiny little steps. Again, you don't have to invest a bunch of money, but maybe you make a phone call. Maybe you go down, you find out, like the craft shows, how much is it to be a vendor? How many hours am I there? What do I have to do? What does the space look like? What kind of monetary investment would it be? So now you're taking some action and seeing how it feels. You don't have to sign any contracts. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to commit to anything. You're just now you're out in the physical world and you're taking some small steps. You're talking to a few people. You are making a few phone calls. You are trying a couple of things on and exploring this new space. Then, if it still feels good, which is the next step, is feel. Stop and take a moment. Stop and breathe. Once, let's say you went out and you went into some local shops and you talked with some owners and you said, hey, you know what? I see that you guys have local products here, blah, blah, blah. I have them. What do you guys, could you do it? Would you buy them from me? Do you sell them on consignment? How does that work? And you're just having conversations. Then when you get home, is now you are, let's feel into that. Like, how do I feel that I went and did that? Do I feel excited? Do I feel joy? Do I feel overwhelmed? Do I feel anxious? Do I feel frustrated? And just feel into it. That's all you're doing. With that feeling, stopping, becoming present, and feeling into what you did, what you're doing is asking for more feedback. And that's what you're getting. Because if I go this way, it doesn't feel good. If I go this way, it feels good. That's feedback. Your emotions are feedback. Now, your emotions can be one of two things. Either the external is not right, and you're not supposed to go this way, or something in you has to change. You have to look at things differently. You have to look at a new perspective. You have to expand. Okay? So there's lots of ways to look at that. But anyway, then the last step would be, now if it still feels good, you're in 100% alignment, this is where you want to go, is now you take more action that puts you in and starts to create momentum in that space. Here's another example. And this, well, you know what? I won't give another example. And the only reason is because I think you got it. So let's just recap. If you are frustrated in your life right now, if things are not going in the way you want them to, pay attention to the messages you're getting from the universe, because the universe is constantly giving us feedback. Constantly. If I turn this way, if I take this turn, is that right? Yes or no? If I turn this way, is it right? Yes or no? Based on our internal emotional GPS. And if it's not, then what needs to change? Is it them or me? If it's them, then you might be looking at it the wrong way. If I change, how can I change? And what can I do that would make this better? Okay? I mean, if every time we got into a relationship and things went sideways, we end up getting divorced, nobody would ever stay together. So you have to look at the value of the thing. Is this bringing me value? Or am I asking too much of the external world? So when you ask these questions and you really you get that introspection, and I'm looking at myself, is this what I want to do? Let's say I take a turn on my business and I'm gonna go do this now. I'm gonna start creating women's retreats all over the world. Well, immediately I get excited when I think about that. Versus I'm gonna create online courses. That seems overwhelming to me. So I can do women's retreats. Okay, so what might be my action steps? Okay, so these are, I'm just going to recap the steps real quick. Paying attention to the messages from the universe, paying attention. So that's tuning into what's not working in your life. Then think about the path that's in front of you. If I do this, it doesn't feel good. If I do this, that feels better. Then when you see that feels better path, is start to think about it first. Just start to visualize yourself going down that path. This is you trying it on. Say things differently, do things differently in your mind, in your visualization. Meditate about this and visualize and use your imagination to go there, travel down that road and see what it would be like. Then the next is taking a little bit of action, making some calls, trying things on, using new words. And I'm giving other examples based on other things that you might be wanting to try on. So if things are not working, then the universe is asking you to change. The universe is asking more of you expanding, you shifting a few things so you can get to the joy part of life. So the emotion or the area of your life starts to improve and the area in your life starts to feel better. And then ultimately you feel joyful. So then after that is more action and then feeling into that action. The whole time you are checking into your emotions. Your emotions are your emotional guidance system. It is letting you know if things are right, letting you know how things feel good. If they do, then keep going. If they don't, then make some adjustments. If you are wanting more information about this, I urge you to check out my Lady Rising group on Facebook. We are doing a call. We do calls every month, and you can come into our group. You can see our calendar. You can check out our calls. Getting on our calls, they're a very nominal fee. Right now, they're $11 for these calls. And they're sister circles. We're here. We can talk about these podcasts. We can talk about the things that you're struggling with and help to support each other. My goal is to create the culture that women used to have years and years and years ago, with these communities that we can go to and talk about things in our life and get the support that we need. I hope to see you in the group, and I hope that you will join me on one of the calls one day. If you liked this episode and look forward to future episodes, please consider making a small monthly donation to help support this podcast. If you are looking for a community to join and have more access to me, then consider one of the following platforms. Chakras for Beginners is an energy-based community that is highly active and growing every day. Lady Rising is a sistership community where the focus is on spiritual support and connection. We hold monthly calls and talk about topics such as today's episode. We also have an online store where you can meet your meditation and chakra needs with products for your journey. You can visit us at www.themeditationroomtc.com. Thank you for joining me and being a valued listener.